Bo. Well, Bo's gonna, I guess, hang out here. No. Hi guys, what's up? It's me, Audra. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm not sure how you got here, but certainly I'm glad you came. And if you are new, you're in for a treat. All right, so today I'm here reviewing the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation. All right. I feel like the names for foundation are getting pretty intense, but I'm gonna leave that alone for now. If you've been with my channel but you're new to my beauty content, and you're new to my channel, I did want to tell you how I actually do my foundation reviews. So there's a few different steps involved in it. I don't believe in doing a first impression for foundation, but that is me, that is a me thing, and it is because I love a good base. I love a good base. But I also find that just trying it on for one day and wearing it for a few hours isn't enough for me to determine if I really like or dislike a foundation, mainly because from day to day, what I'm doing can change. I may not sweat as much one day, and then the day that I sweat, I'm like, holy crap, this foundation sucks when you're sweating. Like, there's a lot of different factors that are involved in foundation for me, since that is my baby, that my base is my thing. Although for some reason today, my eyes are giving a different story. We're just gonna ignore that. But so I typically, when I'm reviewing a foundation, it takes anywhere from 3 to 7 days for me to complete my review of the foundation. Just depends on time and what all I'm doing. So that way you guys know, these are fairly in-depth reviews. It's not just I swiped it on and said, it's good, and wore it for 12 hours. Not anything against anybody who doesn't do that. I do it because I have the time. I don't receive any PR. I don't have a reason not to be able to have the time to really just put this through its paces a lot more than one try on and a day wearing it. So you're gonna see this over a series of days, including this day. And it was Friday, Saturday, and part of Sunday, and I hope that you guys enjoy this. First up, we're gonna see me trying it on for the first time. All right, it's 5:50 a.m. I'm looking brown. and we'll see how it wears. Okay, so it's 8:05 p.m., which I was late, but I also had dinner with my mom, and you know what it's like when you have dinner with your parents because they buy the food. Yay. So my check-in, okay. Definitely had it on for 12 hours. I don't think it says that it's supposed to be. Oh, it does. I went past the 12-hour mark. What my first check-ins, I'm going to turn the lights down here in a second, but it is kind of beating up my pores. Like my pores are just like coming out at you, and then I don't feel like it's that radiant. The lighting is making it look radiant, but when I look in the mirror, I look kind of like flat. So I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to try the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer.
I know, I don't normally wear primer.
But if I'm going to try to wear a primer when I need to, then I'm going to try that. So I'm going to try the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I'm going to try not to use the mattifying products that I normally use, but because it said it was hydrating, I kind of was expecting it to be more radiant, so it's not exactly radiant. So let me just drop the lights right quick and ignore my hat hair. It's a long day. I swear to you, this is my regular kitchen lighting. I don't understand. That's my normal kitchen lighting. So I'm going to try to come in where you can sort of see. I don't know if you can see like right here. I should have some pictures of it, but there's like my pores just look out of hand. So, and I know I have big pores. It's like that's a fact of life for me. I have big ass pores. But yeah, I think I'm going to try this again. I'm going to do another try of it, and I'm going to try to use the Poreless Putty Primer and not use the mattifying products I normally use for a radiant foundation. I know you're sitting there like, bitch, why would you use a mattifier for, I have oily skin. I have an oily combination T-zone, and it's like, so I like to mattify so that I can be radiant and not gross. So we're going to try this again, and we'll be back with the results there. I do feel like it's a little bit thick, but that's okay. And it may just be because I'm tired. So we're going to try this again. And I think you probably heard Bo hacking back there. So we're just going to try again. I'm going to keep saying we're going to try again because I'm fucking exhausted and I can't make words. So we'll be back tomorrow for another try. All right, so my first impressions of the foundation, it was a little thick and it seemed to really be living in my pore, like living to make my pores look like hot garbage. There's gonna be, I think I showed you pictures in the try, and if I didn't, I'm showing them to you here. But it just seemed, granted, I had it on for about 14 hours by the time, and it's a 12-hour wear foundation, but it just seemed like it was really highlighting my pores. When it started to break down, it really just broke down here, right here, and around my mouth, which are typically areas that it will break down for me. But the way that it broke down was pretty ugly, and I felt not so pretty at the end of it and couldn't wait to wash it off. Next up, you're gonna see me Saturday trying it. I did not get to hit the gym like I wanted to in this try-on, so I do apologize for that. But I did get to take my Satan's Balls shower, so there is that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm here to try this Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid again because it was weird last time. I don't know if I wore it too long. I don't know. We're going to try this again though. I said I would try it with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. We're going to get into it. Just so you know, if you're new to my channel, I really don't look all sassy when I'm putting on makeup. It's not my gig. I've given that up. So here we go. pause that I got this sponge in my BoxyCharm, and I'm not sure if that video goes up or not because I'm never sure if I'm gonna show those, but this is so fucking hard. I'm having a rough time. So, apologies. Moving on. Okay, it looks a little bit better than it did last time. This time I made sure to hydrate my face instead of using the mattifying toner and the mattifying moisturizer. So it looks a little bit better. I'm gonna get the rest of my makeup on and I'm gonna take it for a couple test spins. It is about 3 o'clock on a Saturday. We're not gonna talk about it. Why am I still in my pajamas? Yes, I can. So I'll be back with my makeup all done and we'll see how it goes. But it does look better than it did yesterday when I tried it, and it feels, we'll talk about that later. All right, my whole face is all done. I'm gonna go run errands. I'm probably gonna hit the gym so I can simulate my normal working conditions where I'm sweating balls. And then we'll see what I look like afterwards. The good news is I did finally find out why I don't like this palette. Like, I like the colors, but the problem is it's a pack on palette. You can't blend it. If you try to blend it, it goes away into nothing. But if you just pack the color on, it seems to work. So that's how I look. Okay, so this is my face. This is what we're working with, and we're gonna see what everything looks like after a few hours, and hopefully we'll be looking good. May not be 3 in the morning, but it could be close. Okay, so I'm back. It is 10:22 p.m. and this is what things are looking like. What we're not gonna do is talk about all the dog hair in my hair. Also my shower attire, because I gotta butter my body up, but first I gotta wash my face. It's easier to do all the stuff to my face and then butter up my body than it is to butter up my body and then do all the stuff to my face. So now you know. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. This is the lighting. I'm gonna tell you right now, with the lighting, it looks like it's good. It's not. Let's turn things down. Okay, that's just me in the regular ass light, and I need to move the camera. Like, I don't know why I film here. All right, so that was the fridge. It freaked me out. I really hate that this light is right here. I'm gonna need to move my filming spot, but you can kind of see that it's like, I don't know if you guys can. I'll put up pictures. It's not radiant. And it says right here, radiant liquid. And it is not radiant. It is actually quite matte to me. Now, for me to say that is a big ass thing because I have to do a lot of shit to keep things from being oily. Did y'all see that little like fuzzy like photo? Anyways, I have to do a lot of shit to keep a foundation that is natural finish or satin finish or hydrating to like not have my skin be all like. So I missed the gym. I'm not gonna lie. I was having a little struggle today. I was on the struggle bus. And so I didn't get to the gym. So what I did instead was laid around like a slug. It also got really hot. And did I remove my 17 layers when it got hotter? No, I did not. I just continued stewing. Then the next thing is that I took a really, really hot Satan's Balls shower. My shower, every time I take it, it's all the way. It's all the way. Like when I first get it, I'm like, and then it's like, it's up. So I did that. I took my Satan's ball shower, and even before I took it, this like kind of was breaking up in places, especially around here, around my pores and all of this. Like around here, ugh, I hate the way this feels. Anyway, around here, it just was really breaking up, and I thought maybe like I don't know. So we'll talk about it in some more detail when I'm clothed and probably wearing a different outfit and different makeup. But yeah, we're gonna I gotta say right now, my results with it are not fantastic. All right. For my second attempt at wearing the foundation, I did do a lot of things differently. The first time I wore it, I did exactly what I normally do when I put on foundation. This time around, I tried some other things to maybe see if that would make it wear better for me, because I really didn't like the way it wore the first time. It felt like it sat on my skin as opposed to sinking into my skin and becoming one with my face. And so this time around, I thought, you know what, maybe I'll use some powder. I'll make sure not to use mattifiers. And it was okay. It was okay. After the first attempt at trying on the foundation, I realized I couldn't wear it the way that I normally do. Because I saw that it said it was going to be radiant and hydrating. For me, typically a hydrating foundation means I need to do something to mattify my skin so that I do look radiant and dewy, not like an oil slick. And what I found was when I used the mattifier, it was just very dull. Even with my second go round not using the mattifier, it still seemed really dull. And I thought that that was weird because I have combination to oily skin. Right now it's trending a lot more towards oily. The weather keeps flippity flopping, which is also not helping me. So right now I'm in Texas. It is currently 70 something degrees, and the previous 2 days, Saturday it was 60 something degrees. Friday it was cold as balls. So you can tell that with all this flippity flopping with the weather, why another reason why I like to really take a foundation through its paces. But for me, it just seemed like it was still dull. It felt like I had to keep using a dewy spray. I used the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultrafine Mist to get it to even look like it was radiant, because it says radiant, and it's not radiant. So today, I know you're thinking, it looks radiant. The shit I had to do to get it like this. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you all. I didn't want to make this video 8 billion years long. So what I did is I actually just tried a different method of putting on this foundation, yet another method, because it was just overwhelmingly dull. So what I did for this application to get it to look like this was some work. I still use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which we all know I'm not a huge primer fan, but when it came to this foundation, it seemed like I had to do something because it just kept eating up my pores and making them look hideous, and I couldn't stand it anymore. So I've been using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This time I actually set it because I was like, you know, if I set it, maybe then it won't sink deeply into my pores, and that seemed to really actually help the overall look of the foundation around this area of my face. Then, before I did all of that, I actually, instead of using a moisturizer, I went in with a facial oil so that I could actually get the glow from within look that you are hopefully seeing today. Am I glowing from within? Is my hair looking a little crazy? You're damn right. But I did have to do a lot of work with this to get it where I wanted it. Also, it's really, really thick. Like, it's really thick for a radiant foundation, to me. I guess because I've used the Estee Lauder, and I've also used the Uma pronunciation. We're gonna move on. I'd used both of those. They both had a bit more of a watery consistency, which made me feel, at first I didn't like it, but later I was like, yeah, that's a lot easier because it was medium to full coverage. You could build it. And this, I feel like it's gonna be on, all right? With this, I feel like while they're telling me that this is a medium coverage with a radiant finish, I feel like it's a lot thicker than a medium coverage for me, because I'm a full coverage bitch, and to me I feel like this is thicker than my full coverage foundation. I actually use the Tarte Amazonian Clay, and that is a full coverage foundation, and it does not feel like this. That is another negative about this foundation. I'm gonna tell you, it has a waxy feel to it that I don't like. Honestly, the only way that I can kind of get rid of that waxy feel is in the areas where I have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Otherwise, the rest of my face has just like this, and it's better today because I use the facial oil underneath it, but without the facial oil or the primer, it is waxy. And when you saw the application of me doing the poreless primer, I am very careful to just put it where I need it and not everywhere for me, because I don't have pore issues everywhere, and I find that when I use this primer and put it all over my face, when I don't have pore issues everywhere, it tends to make the makeup slip in the areas that don't need it. So I am very careful about that. I only put it where I needed it, and the weird thing about it is those areas were the only ones they didn't feel weird and currently don't feel weird or waxy.
Editing me here, you can see that's gross. I went to lunch with my mom. I had her touch my face, and she also thought it was gross. So it's not just me. I feel better. All right.
Another thing I changed is I did not put my concealer underneath the foundation this time. I actually like to do that because I have very, very dark circles, and when I put it underneath and then put my foundation on top, for me, it tends to give me a better look. My under eye circles are not as pronounced, and I don't know, you guys tell me, but I feel like my under eye circles are not as pronounced when I do it that way as opposed to putting it on top of the foundation. Especially these hydrating foundations, I find it looks better if it's underneath than on top. But it just, there is a lot, it was just too much work. I'm looking for a foundation that could maybe step in if I didn't feel like buying my Uma or the Estee Lauder foundation that I have. You know what I mean? Because I tend to shop online. If you guys are like me, you might tend to shop online as well because it saves me money when I shop online. I typically find that when I go into the store, it's very easy for me to start getting all, oh, I could get this and this. And then $150 later, I'm super sad and I'm upset with myself. And I'm just like, girl, you came in for a foundation. So I will order my foundation online. So I was looking for a drugstore alternative, and this is not it, sis. The amount of work involved in getting it to look radiant was high. And it's not particularly expensive, but it's just, I don't know. It has hyaluronic acid and it has collagen in it, and I just don't feel like the formula that they created for this is really conducive for my skin to make it look radiant. I felt like I had to go above and beyond to get my skin to get the glow that you're seeing today. Now, currently, it looks great. It still feels gross, though. I'm going to tell you that. It has a gross feel. It sits on top of the skin. It never actually fully feels like it sinks in. The other thing that I did change is that I did not apply it with a sponge this time. I just applied it with a brush. And that seemed to make all the difference in giving it some additional glow. So I can't definitely tell you if it was the brush or if it was the oil, the facial oil, but I can say that it's probably a combination of both of those things. So if you do want to use this foundation, just be prepared to work for it. I am a foundation bitch, so I will work for it to get what I need out of it. This is would be on my bottom tier of foundations that I would take with me, or if I had to purchase a foundation really quickly, I wouldn't want to get this one. I got it in the color Cocoa 130. I don't know. I just feel like they were trying for something and it didn't quite work out. The formula is not good. It has a waxy feel to it. It is not as radiant as it should be. And honestly, it just is very thick in consistency. I felt like it didn't matter what I did, I had to work for it. And if you are not a person who's gonna work for it, this one won't be for you. So this is not a good drugstore alternative to the Oma foundation. It's not a good drugstore alternative to the Estee Lauder foundation. I'm gonna continue searching for one that is accessible. But keep in mind, one of the reasons I was actually doing this is because I find that drugstore foundation, I don't buy it all that often, and it's not because I'm a bougie bitch. It's actually because of the shade range. The selection of shades for this is not good. So I'm out here spending $40, $50, $60 for a foundation, and I'm just trying to find a drugstore alternative for those times when maybe I'm just not in the mood to go to all that work and trouble and ordering it online, and that time in between, that pretty time in between to have this while I'm waiting for my foundation to come, because I always wait a little too long. But while I'm waiting for it to come, I wanted to have an alternative that would be there in the middle. This is not going to fit that bill. I'm sorry, Maybelline. I like Maybelline, but I did not like this. I just didn't. It was too much work. It is not radiant, and I had to bust my ass for an hour to get it to look like this. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Have you tried this foundation? What are your thoughts on it? Did this help you in any way? Have you looked at it and thought about purchasing it? And did this help you make a decision? Let me know in the comments below. All right, so that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up on your way out. And if you have not already, please go ahead and consider subscribing. I am on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to hit that by my birthday. My birthday is in April, and I will be the big 4-0, and I'm really excited about it because Lord knows there were things in my life that made me think that I would never get here. As many accidents as I've been in, and I'm still here. So I'm really excited. If you would, join my family, and thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you guys. Have a great day, and until next time, deuces!